It's unbelievable what's happening in the world today. World's biggest banks meet as pressure mounts to do more. So they're all having these conference calls constantly. Now, the next transition, this is going to be chaotic because the US is not going to want to give up its dominance. It gives us tremendous power over China and Russia. And, lately we have been using, for the last several administrations, we've been weaponizing the dollar, using it as a weapon. And there's governments around the world that are getting tired of this. But in my book, I wrote that, mark my words, there will soon be an emergency meeting of the G20 finance ministers or something like that to hash out a new world monetary system. It will just be history repeating, but just like before, it will be repeating with a twist, only this time the twists will be huge. And this is something that everybody needs to get prepared for, and the more prepared you are, the better you will do out of this situation.
Orthodox economics used to say that negative interest rates are impossible and you shouldn't even approach the zero bound for very long. And yet now you have more than 20 central banks at the zero bound, some in negative interest rates. I sometimes start my talks and I say, I'm going to talk to you about a radical monetary experiment, and everybody thinks I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. And I say the radical monetary experiment is that more than 20 central banks have their interest rates at negative. This has never happened before. And they're stuck. They have no way out. So, it's a really interesting space, because the whole thing about currency is that you don't need to know how it works unless it stops working. And when it stops working, everybody needs to know how it works, because your wealth, the future of your children, everything now depends on that. And so country after country after country, people are learning the hard lesson that currency doesn't matter until it does, right? Because it's not working anymore.
The question is, what makes more sense, burning a bank or buying Bitcoin? So if you burn a bank, they'll just build a new bank. So it doesn't really have much impact. But if you buy Bitcoin, you are putting the banks out of business. You're putting the Cantillans out of business. You're putting fractional reserve bankers out of business. You're putting the central bankers out of business if you buy Bitcoin. That's why every Spanish-speaking person in the world, every person in the world, in every country in the world needs to be buying Bitcoin as a way to opt out of fraud, opt out of the Cantillans, opt out, just opt out. And well, more and more people are doing that. If you look at the Bitcoin adoption charts in countries like Argentina, they're zooming higher. Brazil, zooming higher. Argentina, zooming higher. Mexico, zooming higher. Places like the Bitcoin Embassy Club in Mexico City attract huge crowds because people realize that their only hope out of this mess is through Bitcoin.
Do you think you're safe? Did you protect yourself? Can you honestly say that you was 100% building on your own? Did you wait for the government to rescue you? If so, then you trusted on a system that is only enriching themselves. Wake up. Nobody cares about you. Only you. There's no help coming and new news. It is getting worse by the day. You don't know how to protect yourself? You think about Bitcoin, but then on the same moment you think that the price will go lower. So you think you're going to lose money, right? If this is you, then you must wake up now. Do you think that the people in the US are buying guns because they want to get richer from it? No, of course not. They buy guns to protect themselves if the worst case scenario is coming. Then why in the world are you keep asking yourself if it's a good time to buy Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a weapon that protects you against a complete failing system. It's worth more than every single fiat currency on this planet. Thinking in a way to profit from Bitcoin will lead you nowhere. Do you understand what times we are living? Look around you. Don't fool yourself, because that's the only thing you are doing, and your family and children will suffer from this stupid thinking way. Everything you learned can go out of the window. It is worth nothing in a time like this. The only thing you learned on schools is how to think in a system inside that is now completely collapsing, and it is happening right now. Don't keep asking yourself what to do. Act now before it's too late.